So void method. What is a void method? So when a method does not return anything, it just performs some task, we call that method as void method. That means the return type is void. So let's look at this example where we have a void method print grade, which takes in a double value and the return type is void. So inside this method, it compares the score against some values and simply print a specific grade. It does not return anything. Okay, so that's why the return type is void. Since it does not return anything, so when we call this print grade method, we don't need to assign the output to anywhere. So we simply have like this inside our main method. We have we give this the grade is, and then we call this print grade method with our score, whatever score it is. So this is an example of void method. Next, when we pass a parameter, this is one of the most important benefit of the method is we can pass the parameters and that parameters can be used inside the method. So when we have a parameter list and when we call that method, we need to be careful about the order of the parameters. So let's say we have this nprintln method where the first parameter is a string and the second parameter is an integer value n. And the method simply, inside the method there is a for loop that simply uh, repeat printing the message that is passed here. So just pause the video and think about what will be the output if we call the nprintln method with these two inputs, welcome to Java and 5. So you can guess that this will print welcome to Java 5 times. Similarly, if you invoke the method using nprintln computer science 15, the output will be computer science 15 times. If we change the orders here, like we write 15 first and then computer science, it will give us an error. So in Java, all the parameters are passed by value. That means the exact content of the variables are passed inside the method. So what does it mean? So here we have a main method where we are first declaring a variable x and the value is 1. Then we are printing before the call x is the value of x, which will be 1. After that, we are calling the method increment and we are passing the variable x. So increment is a void method. That means it does not return anything and it takes in an integer value. So when we have this int n, the value of x is copied here. So please, this is a very important point, that the value of x is copied into n. Okay, so inside here n plus plus means the value of n is incremented, and then we print n inside the method is, so 1 becomes 2 now. After this, since this is void, we come back into the main method, and now the next line println, after the call x is, I would recommend pausing this video and think about what will be the value of x here. So you can guess, since the value was copied into n and the original value of x was never changed, the output here will also be 1. So after the call, x is 1. This is very important to note, so please be careful. Let's look at another example of this by the call stack. So here, this is an example where from the main method we are calling a method named swap, which just swap the input values. So in the main method, if we have two values num1 and num2, which is 1 and 2, and then we call the swap method. So by swap method, we expect the value of num1 to go to num2 and the value of num2 come to num1. So in the swap method, we have this mechanism where indeed the value of n1 goes to n2 and then the value of n2 comes to n1. So when this is done and we come back here to main method, the important thing is the values of num1 and num2 were copied into n1 and n2. And whatever changes happen here have no effect in the original num1 and num2 value here. So these values remain unchanged and the swap never happened on the original values here. Okay? And when we are done, the stack is empty. This is very important.